Kababayan, welcome to the show. Ako po si G. Tanji. I am very honored because our next guest is someone that I really admire and I highly respect. He's here on the show. He is the author of several books that we're going to be talking about today, right here, Filipino Tattoos, Ancient to Modern, as well as The Forgotten Children of Maui. I had the fortune of meeting this man on my trip to Hilo to document Kayamanan ng Lahi for the Merry Monarch. And he's here with us, Mr. Lane Wilcken. Hi, Lane.
Hi, G. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here in the studio. I've been meaning for this to happen. The stars have aligned, and here you are. Okay, so we have much to talk about.
Yeah.
First of all, Filipino ka ba?
Filipino ako.
Filipino ka! Taga saan ang mga magulang mo? What part of you is Filipino?
My mother is from Tarlac, from San Manuel, Tarlac,
Okay.
and my father is American.
Okay, so growing up here in America all your life, how was that like being a Filipino-American?
It was different. This was back in the early 70s, and not a lot of racial mixing back then. And when I was 6, I was actually born in California, and when I was 6, we moved to northern Utah, kind of right on the border of Idaho. And my sister and I were the only minorities in the whole school. Everyone else was Caucasian. We got teased a lot. It was hard. No other Filipinos around. Hard to come to grips with your identity when everyone's picking on you and making fun of you. And my sister is beautiful. She's actually on the cover of that book. And
This is her.
yeah, that's her. And she thought she was ugly when she was a child because of the way the kids teased her there.
Well, kids are not nice. I mean,
No.
even until now, people still get teased and bullied, right?
Yeah.
So why Utah?
Well, my dad made a career change, a lifestyle change, and wanted to escape some of the things that he was involved with in Northern California. And so he uprooted us, moved us to Utah. We spent 5 years there, and after 5 years, we moved to Southern California. And I was there in high school until I was 19, and then I moved to Hawaii for a few years. And that's where I really kind of came to grips with my identity and embraced my Filipino culture.
Okay, when you mention Hawaii, this also airs in Hawaii, all over the Hawaiian Islands. And I never knew that there was this Hawaiian-Filipino connection until I met people like you who really explained to me the lineage and the history. I know we're going to talk about that in detail, but I just find it fascinating that when I first came to Hawaii, I felt like I was home, the Philippines, right? It's so
Yeah.
similar. Was this an experience you had as well?
Of course. I totally felt that I had come home. In fact, when I stepped off the plane, there was just this familiar spirit about everything. Everything seemed familiar, and even the words seemed similar to me. And I really enjoyed my time there, and that was a big turning point in my life and led me to writing the books that I have.
Okay, so at 19, you moved to Hawaii. May I ask why?
Yeah, I was there as a Mormon missionary.
Okay, so how was that like, that experience?
That was a great experience. We did proselyting. We also did a lot of service work. I cut down jungle. I chased chickens. I cleaned up people's yards. You know, that kind of thing. So we had a good experience there. But I think it was a transformational period for me, where I think I found my calling at that time in my life.
Okay, so fortunate to be so young and discover your calling, right? Because a lot of people, I know it takes a while to find that passion. And what is that calling?
I think it is cultural restoration.
Cultural restoration. Sa mga kababayan na hindi nila alam, what is cultural restoration? It sounds really deep.
Well, the Philippines, we have been a colonized people. We had the Spanish come, and I know a lot of people are very proud of their Spanish heritage. I have some Spanish blood in me about 5 generations ago, and we're all very proud of that. But one of the problems that happened with the Spanish colonizing the Philippines is that a lot of our indigenous practices and arts were subverted or exterminated, unfortunately, due to a lot of misunderstanding of what things actually were. And so there are these aspects of our traditional culture that are valuable and they're worth preserving, and not just preserving in literary form, but they need to be preserved in practice as well.
Okay, so when you talk about these forms, they can be any art form, dance, music, language even, right? What
Yes.
other forms are there?
There's also tattooing.
Okay, which we will
We'll
discuss.
talk about that definitely.
Yes, we will discuss that.
And there's also cloth making, textile making. There's weaving traditions, there's bark cloth traditions that some friends of mine that are trying to resurrect.
So bark cloth, that's the way where you wrap yourself in cloth, correct?
Right, right.
Okay.
Made from the fiber of trees.
Wow, okay, so I didn't realize that there could be a Filipino component to that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I'm learning so much already. When we return, kausap pa rin natin si Lane Wilcken, and we're going to be talking about the Hawaiian-Filipino connection. You won't want to miss it. We'll be right back.